All right, let's look at the homework 2, problem number 10. All right, so we have a price function here. P of x is equal to 85 minus 4x. And the revenue function is x times the price function, so we have that. All right, and for part A, we want to find the correct picture. All right, so we picture for the revenue function. All right, so revenue function. So we're looking at this one. All right, so it looks like if you find the X intercept, so you just put set the whole thing equal to 0, and you can see that x equal to 0, and we have to set that equal to 0. So you get x equals 85 over 4, right? And so those are the x-intercepts. So you can see that the a, so it looks like it's going through 0 here. And, 85 over 4 is 21 point something. So you can see that this is reasonable. And location of the x-intercept is here, and probably I can't really, oh, actually, maybe I have to extend it. All right, so you can see 0 and 20 something. So this looks reasonable too. All right, but this one, C, is actually on the negative side. So C is definitely not the correct picture. All right, so this is going to be between A and B. All right. And then we're talking about revenue. Hopefully revenue is going to be positive. And X value is between 1 and the 17. So you can see that the value is going to be positive. So definitely not A, because if you look at A, so the revenue actually goes below the x-axis, which means that it's going to be negative, and we certainly don't want negative revenue. So A is not reasonable, and the only one that's reasonable is actually B, right? So this is the correct picture for the revenue function. All right, let's check the answer. All right, we got that. All right, and let's look at the next question. We want to find the output, which is the x value, that will produce the maximum revenue, right? So since we're looking at, here, right, the facing down parabola, and the max revenue is going to happen right at the top, at the vertex. All right, so let's try to find that, all right? All right, so we have a revenue function, and I'm going to complete the square and see how I can do it. So here, if you multiply out, so first I'm going to go ahead and multiply this out. I'm going to actually distribute x to negative 4x, so you're going to get negative 4x squared, right? And then I'm going to distribute x to 85, and obviously you're going to get 85x. All right, let's complete the square so that we can find the vertex. All right, so this is going to be equal to, all right, first I'm going to factor out negative for leading coefficient, which is negative 4 in this case. So I'm going to factor negative 4 out. All right, so you have x squared, obviously, from here. All right, so if you factor out negative 4 from 85x, you're going to get, basically, it's a divide by negative 4, right? So you have a negative 85 over 4x, right? So we have that, right? And unfortunately, this is not the nicest number, right? Then in order to complete the square, we need the third term. So the third term is going to be, remember, take this number, right? Then I'm going to divide by 2, then square that, right? So if you divide 85 over 4, actually negative, so it's going to be negative 85 over 8, because it's at 1/2 of that, and then you have to square that. Oh, actually, sorry, I want to use a different color. I'm going to use a red here. So I'm going to add to complete the square. So negative 85 over 8 squared, right? But this term wasn't there, so I'm going to subtract out exactly the same thing. So negative 85 over 8 negative squared, right? So we have that. So we can use these three terms to factor it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first group those three terms together. So you have x squared minus 85 over 4x plus, right? So I'm going to stop writing this negative sign because it gets squared anyway, so it's not going to really make not going to make any difference. 85 over 8 squared. And actually, I'm going to use a different bracket here. So I'm going to group these first three terms together. I keep them together. All right, but the last term, I'm going to distribute negative 4 to that guy right there. So it's going to be negative, negative, so it's going to be positive. And 4 times, I'm too lazy to compute this, so I'm going to just leave it as this kind of an ugly form. All right, so we get that. All right, then we get this is going to be equal to negative 4. All right, so this part can be, we can complete the square of this. So you have an x. All right, so you take the 1/2 of this number, so it's going to be 85 over 8 squared, right? So remember that this, you can just take 1/2 of that, you get that. And plus, we still have 4 times 85 over 8 squared, right? So a vertex, so this will give us a vertex, right? So vertex is all right, x value sits right here. So it's 85 over 8. And y value sits right here, right? So sorry, I'm a little too lazy to compute this. I'm going to actually use a calculator later to compute it. So I'm going to just leave it like that. All right. So since this is an upside, facing down parabola, and you can see that the vertex is right at the top. So you can see that revenue is going to achieve a maximum there. All right. So when x equals 85 over 8, you're going to get a maximum. So let's see if we can type it in. All right. So let's see, next one here. All right, type in integer or fraction. Okay, so it was 85 over 8 million chips. So check the answer. All right, we got that. All right, what is the maximum revenue? All right, so maximum revenue is this guy, 4 times 85 over 8 squared. So I'm going to use a calculator to compute it. All right, so I'm going to just say 4 times 85 over 8, and then raise it to squared. Actually, I should have just put square there, but this is the same thing. All right, hit enter. All right, so it came out to be 451.5625, and so, all right, so let's type it in there. All right, so it says 2 decimal places, so we're gonna put $481.56 million. All right, so let's see. Let's check the answer there. Right, we got that. All right, what is the wholesale price per chip that produces the maximum revenue? Right, remember that the price function is P of X, and X is 85 over 8, so I'm just going to just plug it in and see what happens. All right, so we're going to get, if you plug in X equals 85 over 8 into the price function, you get 85 minus, and 4 times 85, so X is 85 over 8. So this is simply 85 minus, all right, so you have a 4 and 8 cancel out, so you get 85 over 2. So 85 minus 85 over 2 is obviously 85 over 2, which is 42.5. Right? So let's type it in. Round to the nearest dollar, 42.5. So it's going to be 43. Right? Let's check the answer. I got that. All right, that's it. I hope that this was clear.